Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on She Will, a movie that I'm not sure what it's about. I think it's about witches. I think Malcolm McDowell's in it. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the what? The Pineys. Books 9 is out. Out and about. Book 1 has an audiobook. It's all there on Amazon.com. Check it. Links in the description. Now, this woman is having terrible dreams and she goes for help. And Malcolm McDowell, remember him? Hey, you remember him from A Clockwork Orange. Yeah, that's him now. He's looking old. He's looking very old. But good to see him. Good to see him. He's not beating anybody up in this, I don't think. But the woman comes for help. And this is a movie. Let's see. I'll find the name. Dario Argento presents it. Very fancy. Looks very pretentious. This is a film by Charlotte Colbert. I'm not sure if she's related to Stephen Colbert, but it looks a little bit pretentious because it starts out like a typical horror movie. It is from IFC, and some creepy things happen. So she's lying in the bath, and like a drop of black substance goes in, and then you see the black substance come up her body. So it's a cool effect. It's creepy. And it seems to be a psychological horror film, which is good, I guess, according to the critic. I don't know. She's the sidekick, I guess, of her. Beautiful and compelling. That's good, I guess, if true. But then it gets into she's having visions of witches burned at the stake. And then the idea is their ashes somehow help people, stay young, and she keeps having visions of these witches, and so that's creepy. And then it says this: a superb debut delivering otherworldly feminist vengeance. Okay, what? What? I'm not sure what that's all about. Then, the trailer's a little disconcerting in that I can't figure out totally what it's about other than something creepy's happening. She's gone on this retreat. She's having nightmares. Creepier and creepier things happen. It's hard to distinguish what in the trailer's a dream or in reality. I guess Malcolm McDowell goes onto a talk show. He probably pushes some sort of health regimen or whatever. She keeps looking back into her past as a little girl. Here, she keeps is she dreaming, or does she actually light a fire? And then there's this scene with women. I'll play a little bit of women dancing around a thing, and there's all this imagery, and it's called She Will. I'm not sure what that refers to. Directed by Charlotte Colbert, written by Kitty Percy and Charlotte Colbert. Kitty Percy. She one of the... No, she's not one of the cast. Doesn't say. Starring Alice Kriege, Coda Eberhardt, with Rupert Everett and Malcolm McDowell. So he's not super in the movie. I assume Alice is the lead woman. A lot of executive producers. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 executive producers, including Philip Colbert, who I assume is somehow related to Charlotte, possibly the husband, bringing the money so his wife can direct a film, maybe? Maybe. Again, I wonder if they're related to Stephen Colbert in some way. Wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. This looks... It's got some cool visuals. I mean, it does look creepy. I like the premise a bit, because I do like the whole witches tie-in. But man, when you tie it into feminism, I'm like, oh no, what is that all about? Why? Why must you tie it into feminism? Witches are this ancient concept. Why must you co-opt it? The witch, perfectly great movie, scary movie. You know, you could argue there's feminist elements in it, I guess, but it's really just a cool movie about witches. Creepy movie. It's a good movie. So don't bring politics in it unnecessarily. Why you got to do that? It's really a turnoff. But I like that the lead actress is older, because that usually means you're going to get someone who puts in, you know, a kick-ass performance. Of course, like Malcolm being in the movie. Don't know why they wouldn't put his name right here. He to me would be a draw. Not sure who this is. Again, cool effect. So, I mean, they didn't spend no money on this movie. I'm not drawn into the story, though, because it seems very disjointed. And with these women dancing around the pyramid, see, you got two. You got the sidekick girl, and then this girl, who I don't know who she is, just suddenly dancing around a pyramid. I don't know what that is. Is that, you know, how does that tie into witchcraft or New Age healing? I mean, it feels all very pretentious. Like like they're presenting it like, well, you should know. You should know what we know. You shouldn't present it like that, in my view. You should bring people into to what it is. If this is about witches, you should promote that. People like that concept, I think, you know, and you'll get the feminist on board with that anyway, because they love the co-op, the whole witch thing, and feel like it's women's empowerment, even though it kind of really wasn't. It kind of was just, it really was more of like religious people sort of explaining stuff away, you know, and accusing people of various things. It's usually a negative. It's usually a negative, but so I guess the first act is she sees Malcolm McDowell on a talk show, and she's maybe suffering from some sort of illness, or maybe it's the dreams or whatever. So she contacts him, wants to be part of his, I don't know, his cure or whatever he's got going on, a retreat. And that's act one. You know, she goes on the retreat and gets there, and you set up all the characters. So she gets on the retreat, and he's got these unorthodox methods, and they don't really seem to be working at first, but then her dreams get worse. She's seeing witches and women burning, and, you know, he talks about how that the ashes of those women somehow were a cure-all. And then does it become, at that point, I really don't know where it's going, because it kind of is so esoteric. I can't get a handle on where this thing is going. It just feels like a lot of imagery for the sake of being arty and quirky and weird, you know? But if I scripted it, it would be something like, you know, she is haunted by the ghosts or spirits of these witches who died in this part of the world, that this was an area where they died, and that he's trying to, you know, he has witches on hand and trying to make one of the witches, I don't know, volunteer to be burned so he can cure people, and that the cure actually works, but at a terrible, terrible price. Or that's not part of his cure at all. He's just a total grifter. That the ghosts are finally getting their revenge, and they're coming back, and they're going to do it through her in some way, because she's dissented from the witches. Or maybe she had some sort of encounter when she was younger, and she should have been a witch, but she's not. I don't know. It just seems very full of itself, the movie. I like the imagery, though. I don't know. It feels like a movie I would get into. You know, about 10 minutes in, I'd be like, when is something going to happen, you know? And then it would kind of make some promises, and then I'd maybe struggle through about halfway, and then I'd be like, okay. And then I'd start zooming through it. Now, granted, I have the attention span of a fruit fly, but still, I mean, something's got to happen in the movie. There's got to be some drama here, something. Maybe Malcolm McDowell would keep me tuned in, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And it's called She Will. Okay, I get it. Is it a woman's will? Is it she will do something? What is she going to do? Give us a little something here to hang our hat on. If it's witches, okay. Give us a little more supernatural stuff then. It's saying psychological horror, so maybe it's not, maybe it's all in her head. Okay. Give us more of that. I mean, give us something with the character. Give us names. Give us how these characters are interacting, I would have done it more like, she's taken by Malcolm McDowell and his promises of a cure-all, like that. Like, give us a little of that dialogue. Like, don't worry, you come to my retreat and I will cure you. Like, even just a line like that would at least set up the movie enough so I go, oh, okay, so she's going to go on this retreat and then weird stuff's going to happen. And then another line later in the trailer, like, what is happening? Oh my God, or, something like that. Or reality is not what you think it is. Something. It just seems like, oh, yeah, you'll see it. That's the attitude of a lot of, I think, arty movies. Like, well, you see it and you try to understand it. And then when you say something wrong, we'll go, whoa, that's what you think it's about, moron. Like, you don't want that. You want to bring people in. And I get it. You're trying to be clever and smart or whatever, but give us something. Okay, I'm a dope. All right, pretend I'm a dope. Just tell me something about the damn movie so I want to watch it. I mean, visuals aren't enough. Paintings are a visual. I could look at paintings online all day. I get it. You want to make evocative visuals in a movie like this, and you got some. Great. But the story's the thing. Okay? There have been plenty of movies that have had amazing visuals and no story, and very few of those become great art pieces. But the opposite, where you have a great story and maybe the visuals aren't totally on point, but if you have a great story, it don't matter, because a great story is engaging, and that's the bones of a movie. So the bones here are very floppy and weak. I don't know. Maybe She Will has osteoporosis. I don't know. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. It's a Hollywoke hot take got a little out of control today. Sorry. It's an hour 18. That's my longest one to date. I guess I got a little too relaxed. There were a lot of headlines. All right. I'm out of here. We'll see you